Hey everybody, happy Friday. For my demo this week, I want to show you new functionality that I've been building out for Growth Copilot. And it's really all inspired by this post from Kieran Flanagan of HubSpot. Just before I jump into this demo, just a refresher, Growth Copilot is a new AI system that I built. I built it for small business owners and independent workers who want to use AI for their growth and marketing, but need it to be simple, easy, um, and very effective. And so, what I've built for Growth Copilot is something that will help those folks build their weekly marketing plans and draft content, all using AI, and then publish that and get feedback on how that content is performing and iterate each week and make it hopefully better and better. And one of the things that I came across was this post from Kieran. And what he's pointing out here is that so many marketing teams have pivoted to creating content for their executive teams. So they're not only creating content for their brand, for their company, as they have been for a while, but more and more they're creating content for the CEO, for the CTO. They're creating LinkedIn posts, they're creating blog posts, etc. And lots and lots of marketing teams have made this shift. Maybe your team has as well. What Kieran points out here is that while this is becoming much more common and much more important, we're lacking a lot of the tools to do this effectively and do this easily. And so what he points out here in terms of a need is for this type of human-led content strategy where people are front and center, we really need a new system to help us manage this. And so what he envisions is a system where you could go in and you could see the growth of the CEO's content channels. You could add other executives as well. You can see a breakdown per channel of how content is performing and the top piece of content. You can see the content pipeline, what's coming next. You can see content opportunities. And you can see the overall influence pipeline from that's resulting from all these human-led content efforts. Something that hopefully we'll have more and more in the future, but lots of teams are lacking this type of system. And he even shows a few examples of what this type of system might look like. Here you can see that we have Sarah Chen, CEO, and we can see for Sarah total followers, the growth in the engagement rate, and even the pipeline that's been influenced here. And then you can see the channel by channel performance, this type of thing. So Kieran really inspired me to think about this functionality in the context of Growth Copilot. And so what I've been working on this week is building out the ability to create a marketing plan and marketing content, not just for a company and brand, but also for an individual. And then also to connect with the social platforms so that you can see the performance of that content. And so for a CEO, for example, we could see how the content's performing across all the various channels. And in the context of Growth Copilot, why this is important is that we'll be storing all this in the backend database. And that way the LLM is going to have access to all the previous posts and content and how that's performed when it's generating the weekly marketing plan for the individual, but also for the company or brand. So here I'll jump into Growth Copilot. I'll sign in, and we'll take a look at how this is working. So the first thing you'll notice is that I have two different profiles here. So I have a brand profile. This is one that I've had for Alan Olive AI, my company name, where I'm creating a weekly marketing plan and content drafts for Alan Olive. But in addition, I now have this profile for myself where I'd like to be creating content and engaging and building community all around topic that I'm very passionate about, which is applied AI and marketing technology and GTM systems. I go to create a new profile. Here you can see the difference. We can create a profile for a brand, a business, but also an individual and creator. And really simple, just name, short bio, website, content goals, content tone, preferred channels. And once we do that, we've got a profile created, and we can go in and we can create a marketing plan now for an individual or a company and brand. And so if we do it for an individual, here you can see an example of one that I've created for myself. This is my weekly go-to-market plan that's been generated by the AI. It shows the channel plan, the objective, the cadence, the tasks on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, some experiments I could run, and then it gives me the draft content. So here's some content to help me get started. These are things I could post on LinkedIn, a long post, a short post, variants for Twitter, questions I could ask, some tips, email, newsletter, etc., and then some experiments to try. So that's the new concept of creating marketing plans and content drafts for individuals in addition to companies. And the new functionality here that I've been building, if I go over to analytics, you can see where now I have the ability, I've built this out where I can connect to my social accounts, and I can go in here and connect to new accounts. So here I can select, maybe I'm doing a lot on Substack. Right now I've connected to X and YouTube and LinkedIn. But once I make this connection, if it's available to me, I can pull back all the engagement data on the content and post, which is really powerful. So here you can see examples where I've connected to X, LinkedIn, YouTube. I can sync, I can view and see the posts as they come back. Just take a minute or two to sync here. And right now I don't have any actual stats, but I would be able to track all the engagement analytics, the engagement breakdown, the top performing posts, store all that in our backend database. And then again, over time, we'll be able to build hopefully a capability that's similar to the one that Kieran sketched out, where you could really see for an individual, if you're creating content for a CEO or CTO, how is all the content performing? What's the content pipeline look like? And then again, what I'm really excited about is the ability to store all this in our backend database so that each time the LLM is creating a weekly marketing plan and content drafts, it's taking advantage of all the lessons that we've learned and all the experiments that we've run and all the actual engagement data we have to make that better and better with each cycle. So that's it for this week. Thanks for listening in. Again, thanks for everyone who I've connected with in recent weeks and reconnected with, have had incredible conversations and a ton of fun with everyone I've connected with in Virginia, California next week. If you would like to connect and would just like to say hello or learn more about the work I've been doing, feel free to reach out. Would love to connect with you, and hope you all have a great weekend.